Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system.
Duke Traps, America's best trap value, proudly presents North American Trapper with Alan Probst.
Welcome to North American Trapper today. We're going back to where I cut my teeth, back in the central part of Pennsylvania. I can still remember following my dad around back in the day in the mid-70s and watching him trap and catching the fever, and we're actually going back to where that was, and you're going to see some of the memories. I'm going to try and show you some of those, and then we're going to show you some methods that are going to help you out in the field if you've got any problem animals as well. So with that said, let's head back to my home territory right now. If you're a farmer or a rancher and you've got a lot of land and you want to handle your nest raiders, this is about as easy as you can do it with these dog-proof traps. So we'll take one here, we're going to put that right here, and we'll pound that in. That's there, and then give it a pull. Good. We'll get it set, and you're just pulling that trigger back, get it in the notch. That's going to go in the ground right there. We don't need to do anything else yet. We'll just come out here. We're going to take another one. One thing when you do set these, make sure that you don't get it close enough to where the coon can get to it if he gets caught, because he will be in both of them. So get this one in. That works. Give it a tug, it's set. Same thing, just get that trigger down in the notch and put that right there. Perfect. We're just going to first take the magnet and a little trailing scent, a little trailing scent, a little trailing scent, a little trailing scent, and we'll go down here. A little trailing scent, and a little trailing scent, and that's it. And then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to get our tablespoon out of our bag and put our coon buster down in there. You can see that's a really colorful fare soaked in crawfish oil, and that's all you need right there, 1 tablespoon. And that's going to go down in the cylinder. I spilled about half of it, so I'm going to put a little bit more right there, and that's right at the trigger. And the same thing on this one, right at the trigger. If I could hit the nozzle, we'd be better off, and I'm pretty much empty on that one, so we'll grab a new one and we'll go down to these last two. But you can see the colorful fare, all the different ingredients soaked in crawfish oil. They just don't walk by it. They just don't walk by it. Well, this week on the North American Trappers Product Spotlight, we're spotlighting what we're using to catch all of these nest raiders. And that's our Coon Buster bait and our magnet trailing set. You see us, we put the Coon Buster in the trap, we top it off with a magnet, and they just cannot walk by it. So basically, you put both of these in the cart, you use web code SCENT, S-C-E-N-T, all capital letters when you're checking out, and you're gonna get 20% off. So you're gonna get 20% off when you buy these together. That's our Coon Buster DP bait and our magnet trailing scent, and as you can see, the system works. So make sure you head over to NorthAmericanTrapper.com, put a Coon Buster and a magnet in the cart, use SCENT, S-C-E-N-T at checkout, and you're gonna get 20% off the bundle.
Welcome back to Duke Trap's presentation of North American Trapper with Alan Probst.
And you can see where they were working there. They aren't there now, obviously. The water's too low. But if you find places like that and still have water like this, and you do have a muskrat population, because there are rats working that hut over there, that's a tailor-made mink set right there. Right where it comes out, over there on the other side. Mink are gonna come in there, work around that, spend some time sniffing and rooting. And where you have muskrats, you're gonna most often times have mink. Not even a black coyote will make me feel like I feel right now. It's been 25 years at least before I've been over here. And as we're down here right now, I'm gonna pull the picture out, and it's gonna be different because it was the winter time and things like that. But if I'm not mistaken, I caught that first rat about this far from where that hut used to be. And I would have caught that first rat when I was 7 years old, probably within 10 feet of where I am right now, no more than 10 yards. Because that hut was up there. The picture with me on the ice is going to be taken from about right here. And that's pretty cool. Actually, yeah, that's really cool. But, well, I come down here to make coyote sets, so we're gonna go down to the corner and make those. But that's where I caught my first muskrat that started this craze that is still going strong almost 50 years later. So thought I'd share that. Bona fide. I went home. I could have been prouder than I couldn't wait to show my dad that mink. He's like, "Where'd you get that?" I said, "Down in the bottom. He was alive. I had to take care of him." But I'm actually going to walk you over there. I don't want to get long-winded. I want to show you these sets, but I'm fired up right now. I want to show you this. You can see there was water in here back in the day. Now, it wasn't high like it was up above, but there was, you know, definitely a water system that came through here. And I came up on this pipe literally 40 years ago. Hell, half the pipe ain't even there now. And that mink, but as you can see, the pipe has all fallen off, it's disintegrated. You know, that mink was right here, sitting alive. And I got his ass. But you can see they had a pipe here. There was water going through here, but you know, farm practices have changed and everything else has changed in the last 40 years. But this is when I talk about the old stomping grounds, this is truly the old stomping grounds. Because as a crow flies, I only lived about half a mile up over there in the town. I could ride my bike down here after school, which I did. And I'm gonna give that story at some point here in the next couple days, where my dad cut my ass off trapping muskrats. You'll like that story. I'll probably make the next clip. But that right there, first mink, bam. It's not even a culvert anymore, it's a half a culvert. And then the first muskrat was right up there. And here we are, putting some sets in today, and you know, reminiscing about those times. And so I guess what I'm saying is the memories mean more than anything. You can catch 500 fox, you can catch 500 coyote, I don't care. That means nothing to me. Absolutely nothing. You take a kid out and you catch his first muskrat or coon or fox or whatever. They're gonna remember that 40 years later.
Email us today for a free catalog to browse all of our traps and snares, baits and lures, and much more. Get all of your trapping and predation control needs by emailing to info@NorthAmericanTrapper.com for your free catalog. Proven products equals proven conservation.
Welcome back to Duke Trap's presentation of North American Trapper with Alan Probst.
But there's something in this one trap, and I can't tell what it is. Like I said, it's probably a coon, but we're gonna walk out here and see what it is. Big old possum and it looks like, is that a gray fox? Yeah, there's a possum. He's playing possum. What's up, buddy? What's up, buddy? Wake up. There you go. We're gonna take care of him. And we got our gray fox here. Boy, that's a beautiful fox. Man, look at them. God, I love those things. They are just absolutely gorgeous. He's hiding. He thinks I can't see him. He's got his head down in the hole. And nothing in that set. This is the set yesterday that Hunter gave me his concocted bait. You can see the catch circle. We showed that, but ultimately we got a nice gray fox here. If you're not aware of this, and this is the first time that you're watching my stuff, I let my gray foxes go, and he's in that 450, and we're gonna go get a catch pole and let him out. They're just a beautiful, beautiful critter. All right, there we go. We've got it in there pretty good. We're gonna get him up, get the trap off his foot. We're gonna move him over here. As you can see, he's a healthy gray fox. We got the possum right here as well. We just kind of gonna let him down, and there you go, buddy. There goes the gray fox. And he's gone. And we got to remake our sets. What you doing, buddy? Hey, I let this one go because, as you can see here, his foot's got hardly any damage on it, and I let him go because the farmer here, come on, buddy, run away. He's just, they are so cool. And they play possum. He just lays there, acts like he's dead. But anyway, the farmer here really only cares if the raccoons and the coyotes are gone. He doesn't mind the foxes, which helps me out, because then I can let a gray fox go and he won't get mad. But as everybody, if you haven't ever seen that before, I don't kill gray fox. I don't know what it is. I just love them, and they're worth $5, and I'm not gonna take them out of the equation for $5. But the possums, they're not really causing any havoc here along this ditch, but the coons and the coyotes harass. You know, they got chickens over here. They got, they've even got a couple llamas that are in there. But, you know, there's something to be said for stewardship too. And some of you people are probably like, why are you letting that go? Why are you letting? Well, yeah, that's one thing about trapping. Trapping is no different than hunting or fishing or anything else. There's a big misconception that trappers are out here trying to harm animals and trying to, you know, just take every animal that they can get. And that's just not the case, especially with me. That possum, once he quits playing over here, he'll walk away. He'll be fine. You saw the gray fox run right there. As I said, trapping's no different than hunting or fishing or anything else. If you catch an animal and you don't want to keep it, you can let it go. And it's no different than passing on a small buck waiting for a big buck. It's no different catching that monster brown trout or brook trout and releasing it back to the stream. That's part of being a sportsman. That's part of being a steward of the land. And yes, we do need to control the raccoons and the possums and the skunks and the coyotes and beavers and all that. Yes, we do need to control them. But when you're in a situation like this where I have some leeway, where we're not trying, or the person who owns the land's not trying to get more turkeys where they want all of the nest critters out. If I've got a good foot on a critter, especially with this equipment we have today, that's the new Duke 450 right there. You can see it caused hardly any damage on his foot. He's going to be able to walk away, as I said, when he quits playing over there. But the same thing with the gray fox. He's going to know he's had a trap on his foot for a day or so. But in a day, he's going to be back out doing everything he was doing before he got caught. And that's a credit to the equipment. That's a credit to the advancements in trapping. And the point that I'm trying to make, and I don't want to get extremely long-winded and all political with this, but trapping is no different than hunting or fishing, as I said. If you don't want an animal, you can let him go and maybe catch him next year, or he'll populate or she'll populate and you'll have more. So trapping is about conservation. Trapping is about being an ethical sportsman. And, the big misconception with a lot of the people out there, the antis especially, is that we're out here and we're a bunch of damn heathens. And that's just not the case.
Email us today for a free catalog to browse all of our traps and snares, baits and lures, and much more. Get all of your trapping and predation control needs by emailing to info@NorthAmericanTrapper.com for your free catalog. Proven products equals proven conservation.
Welcome back to Duke Trap's presentation of North American Trapper with Alan Probst.
And I'm going to leave it just like that, to where I want them to come in, work it from the front or the side. They find our pan right there. And we're good. We got about 1/2 inch dirt over the pan. And that's about it. That's all it's needed for the remake on both of those. But that's it right there. Remake and remake. Just awesome. Hey, that possum disappeared. Where'd he go? I didn't even see him run away. Well, he's gone, so that's pretty cool. We'll come back here tomorrow, and like I said, hopefully we'll have a coyote, but if not, still a pretty damn good day. Well, we're coming down in where I got my first muskrat that I talked about the other day, and I could see him from the road, which is kind of cool. And we got a nice red fox, and he's actually really pretty red fox. And you can see he can't get to the other circle. So if he'd have been, hey, settle down, buddy, settle down. Ooh, you got a little grumpiness in you today, huh? That's why I like the gray foxes. They're a little more aggressive, but this one's got a little bit to him. What's up, buddy? You're gonna be all right. But anyway, this is the area that I showed you where I caught my first muskrat. Caught my first mink down there under that old rotten pipe now, where it went under the road. Used to be a lot more water here. We did go out through there. Showed you a hut about 3 days. I think it's our third night. We caught a possum here the first night. But all in all, it's pretty nice to have a red fox here. And you can see how that 3 sets works. Stop talking. We have the 1 set there, we had the possum in that set, and we have another set here, and you can see it looks like there's a deer track right there, and this looks almost like, that might be another deer track, I can't really tell, but all in all, this has been I only got 3 or 4 days over here, but this has been a really nice trip for me. Going around a lot of the old stomping grounds and remembering the stories from when I was a kid, following my dad, remembering the stories of, where my dad caught this, and, we had that gray fox yesterday. And anyway, we're going to get that red fox taken care of, and he's a beauty. But you can see that Duke 450 makes a good work out of that fox, and obviously we'll work on any coyotes or bobcats that come in the area. So pretty good day, and just another memory for the bank down here where I cut my teeth almost 50 years ago. Some of those areas that I showed you, I've personally been trapping almost 50 years, and the memories, from back then and even 5, 10, 15 years ago, like for almost 50 years, we've been in those areas, and I always enjoy going back there and reminiscing. And, after losing Dad, a couple years ago, going in those places carry a much higher meaning to me. And that's truly what trapping is. It's about memories as well. And that's, as I get older, that's the part that really resonates and makes a difference. If we can get you any products that are going to help you create your own memories, stop by our website, NorthAmericanTrapper.com. We've got pretty much everything that you're going to need that's going to help you be successful while you're out in the field chasing nest raiders, coyotes, bobcats, or whatever. As always, the adventure begins where the road ends, and we'll see you next time.
Trapping season is here, and now's the time to protect your deer and turkey populations. Raccoons, opossums, skunks, and coyotes are working your land right now. Get started today with a raccoon nesting bundle or our coyote predator bundles, which includes everything you need to start catching on day one. Or go big with our complete predation packages and full-scale steward and conservationist kits. Browse all of our predation control packages at NorthAmericanTrapper.com.